Hello, good afternoon, everybody. Derek with the Hospitable team here. I am coming to you from Roswell, Georgia, from a coffee shop, actually. So you'll see patrons walking around. I'm totally caffeinated, overly caffeinated today, so I'll be drinking water. Thank you for joining today. Today's topic is on listing management. So if that's what you came for, that's what we have. We also have Lisa in the house from our support team. Welcome, Lisa. How are you? Oh, you're on mute. That's okay. I'm gonna do the John Boy thing. Do you guys watch John Boy? He lip syncs like sports ejections. I think she said, "Hey, how are you guys doing today? Love you guys." So, anyways, welcome, Lisa. Lisa is one amazing person who knows the product. She will be answering Q&A during the session, but you can absolutely save questions till the end. Unfortunately, in this format, we cannot pull you off mute. So apologies, cannot pull you off mute. But that's okay because you can type your questions in the chat. But even better, there is a question section. So you can type in the questions there. So in the sidebar, if you'll just say, where are you joining us from? So yeah, how about everyone try that out and then you'll know how to enter a question if there is one. So I'm just going to say hello from Roswell, Georgia. Lisa said, hello, joining you from Pennsylvania. That's where they say water. I lived in Philly for a while myself. Charlotte lived there too. Great. All right. Well, gosh, we have folks from all over the world: Philippines, San Antonio, Ottawa, Ontario. Listen, I was rooting for the Blue Jays myself. I went to a game this year. So, next year, glad he's going to be back. All right. Well, let's get started. Today's topic is on listing management. This is a new feature that we released last week. Today is November 5th, so we released it last week. So it's a big deal. We wanted to make sure this call is all about listing management. So I am sharing my screen. Can I make sure that everybody can see my screen? Can you guys type in chat? Yes, no? You can see the screen? Not having Miles here is like a major thing for me to be able to do this on my own. Can everybody see the screen? Joy, Jyoti said yes. Brent, thank you. Okay, screen shows up. Miles isn't here today, and he usually does these things for us. So, all right. What we will not cover today, we're not going to cover company updates. We're not going to cover roadmap. This isn't where you escalate support questions, unfortunately, even though we have Lisa on, who is from our support team. It is all about listing management today, okay? If you're new to Hospitable, we have plenty of other areas for you. You can always do support. We have a community. We also have every other week town halls where we go over the product update. So just look for the little flag in the product and we'll give more general updates there. But today is all about listing management, okay? And just right out the gate, I like to keep things simple. Listing management is in all plans: Legacy, Host, Pro, and Mogul. So if you're on any of those plans, that means if you're a customer, because it's on all plans, then listing management is in your product today. All right, so Lisa, I'm sorry I didn't have your photo here. That's on me. I own that. I own it, okay? But it's me. It's Lisa from our support team. She's in the chat, so you can ask questions. She'll be trying to handle those. I'm giving a shout out to Marina. She's our senior product manager who has built the thing that we're going to go over now. She is on her way to a concert. Okay. And I had to write this down because she told me who she was going to go see, and I'm not cool enough to know who it was. It was Tash Sultana. Supposedly, this is an Australian artist who's like a one-woman band. She does loops and all these things. So I'm going to have to check her out afterwards. But Marina, thank you for building such a great product. Norin is in Germany. I think she might be on and listening in the background. That should probably have been Lisa's. That's on me. Lisa's in the house. And that's me, Derek. I'm here. Okay. Now, quick disclaimer before we get into this. There's lots of words. What we're going over today is listing management creation. It is new. I'm going to tell you what it is and what it isn't, what's released and what's not. So the TLDR in this is be skeptical of any product release, whether it's us or any product. Okay, you can trust us, but check out the product for yourself. Make sure it's something that you want to implement now or later and you can delay and make the best decision for your business, because managing your listing is a big deal. Sometimes we release features or little enhancements, that kind of thing. This is a big deal. You want to make sure you understand exactly what's happening. So you might like what you see today, but still not make the decision to implement it. But you might make the decision today as well. All right, so let's get in it. What is listing management and creation? Well, previously you had to manage your listing. That's your Airbnb, Vrbo, Booking.com. You had to manage and create those listings outside of Hospitable. When you joined, you connected the accounts. Okay, then you connected, and then the calendar synced, and we blocked off to prevent a double booking. Okay, and you had to, if you created an Airbnb account, let's say most of our customers come, you join on Airbnb, and then maybe you later down the road add a Vrbo, maybe down the road you add a Booking.com. Okay, and so edits have been somewhat painful. Okay, now I do have a poll. Without Miles, I was able to do a poll, so I didn't want to stick it to Miles. Let him know I'm not such a fuddy dud. So I'm going to start a poll here. How often do you change your listing? So if you could just open up that, and let's no one wants to admit they've never since they created it. I'm going to be honest and maybe click that option. I don't know. Okay, one person, me. That was me. Okay, all right. So it looks like monthly. That's interesting. That's more than I thought. Some of you, about 25% of you stay. Well, let's see. I don't know if you can see the poll, but I'm going to stop the poll in just a second. Get your vote in. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, we'll stop the poll. So 7% of you said never since you created it. I think that was my vote only. Monthlies, two-thirds of you say monthly. That's great. And then once or twice a year is about a third of you. So yeah, so you're having to do this today, right? You're going into the channel. So you're leaving Hospitable, you're going into Airbnb, Vrbo Booking, you're making these changes, right? So that's kind of the past. Now I say today with an asterisk, you can duplicate listings and manage inside of Hospitable. It's an early release, so not all the features. I'm going to tell you exactly what's here today and then what's coming, but give us some time. I'm going to give you sort of a buffer date. By the end of Q1 next year, all of this will be done. Now, I think we'll beat that timeline. I think we'll beat it. But I'm giving you sort of an idea of when we think that job will be done. Okay. But today, I'll show you today. It's in everyone's product. You can edit the listings, you can manage rule sets, you can manage availability, and it will push that information inside of the channels. Okay. Now, like I mentioned, this is a moving target. This is literally a moving target, and so is listing management. So we are doing what we call fast follows. Fast follows are after the town hall we released. The team is already working on several things. So pay attention to what's coming. Now, okay, listing management. Why would you even want to change it? Now, I'm going to give some things we've heard. Please feel free to mark in the chat as well. Why do you like to change your listings? Okay, photos sell. I took this picture on the right of the listing that I stayed at with family last year for Christmas. They had this thing totally dressed up for Christmas. Had like a nice white Christmas tree. They had decorations, and I'm telling like the emotion kicks in, right? And what happens when emotion? I love Kevin O'Leary from Shark Tank. He says he loves businesses that involve like babies and weddings because people are emotional and they spend money, right? Kind of maybe more than they would. Same thing, photos sell. So being able to change and edit photos for seasonal purposes, really can make a difference. Also, managing amenities. What happened when you create an Airbnb listing? Let's say just Airbnb, they have a fast listing creation process. So they present maybe a third of all the amenities for you to choose. They sort of have some tiles, but they know that if you have to go through all 100 amenities, that could take like 15 minutes. So if you created a listing and haven't been back to it, like you may not have even seen all the amenities options. In checking the correct amenities, not only correct, but the more amenities you have is a ranking factor for all the channels, but especially Airbnb. So making sure that you're giving yourself credit for shampoo and soap and towels and things that, you have them in your listing, but maybe when you first created your Airbnb listing, you don't know. But let's say you change an amenity, then you have to go change it across the channels. That can be painful. Okay, and it's really designed to beat your competition. Changing your headline based on what you've learned from guest reviews, changing the description, those types of things can really impact the photos, the listing headline, and resonating sort of in the description. Those are all, that's our billboard to sell our space, right? So what we'll go over today is we are managing listings for Airbnb and Booking.com and your direct booking website. Okay. What's not on this list is Vrbo today. So we want to be clear, what we're showing today is not for VRBO. VRBO, uh, we've done a lot of work on it. We're actually waiting on Vrbo right now. It's actually the ball's in their court to have some approval stuff. I hear there might be a bug on their side that they're working on. I don't know all the details, but Marina told me this morning we've done most of the work. So as soon as we hear back, a lot of the work we've done, we'll be able to apply to Vrbo. So, but we can manage a lot of the listings for Airbnb and Booking.com today. And you can actually duplicate your Airbnb listing onto Booking.com today as well. Our approach to this is be simple, but not simplistic. Okay. You'll be able to edit your certain elements of your listing, but you'll also be able to adjust them by channel. Um, I know for me, for my listings like Vrbo, I do a markup on Vrbo because I have a 13% markup on Vrbo over Airbnb. And I do that because just in my area, people pay more. It's a different guest. It's a different type of guest. It's a different profile, different age, different income. They care about certain things. And so my headline, my listing description is very different on Vrbo, right? And we want you to be able to manage that inside on a channel basis. We also wanted to make sure that we don't force you to create a listing from scratch, right? We mentioned this on the town hall last week. When you will see this in the product, you're able to see all of your listing as it is today. We're not going to make any changes just by syncing this, okay? Then you'll be able to make changes as you see fit. Okay, and again, the big thing is visibility. I mentioned this. We're not going to adjust your listing. You'll be able to have full control. There's some other channel managers that have done this. Maybe you've been burned by it, or when you've switched from Hospitable, they sort of your listing was almost like held hostage. Well, there's a reason for that, because they made money forcing you to create a new listing. And we do not think that if you create a new listing with us, like, we have a similar incentive with the channels, but we're not going to force you to do that, right? That's not good business. You have a great listing, it's got reviews, so you'll be able to just sync your existing listing in. Okay, and that's what I should have had this slide saying that. We protect the setup you've worked hard to do. So let's get into the demo. That's all the primer, that's what we're doing. Let me get in and share my screen here. I'm going to share my entire screen. And I need to add this to the stream. Okay. So now I am in my own account. So I'm a host here in Roswell, Georgia. Let's show you how it works. And you can follow along as well. So what you'll want to do is click on Properties. Okay, so this is for an existing listing that you have. I'm going to click into my Atlanta Street property. These first three tabs, details, pricing, and availability, that is where you will be able today to control certain elements, not all the elements of your listing, but certain elements of your listing. So let's click into details. What you'll see is previously we had this long page of items. You had to scroll very, very deep and all the way down. Now we've split your listing into these groupings: essentials, arrival, location, amenity, and rules. Okay. and then you can start to see the work that has been done. Okay, now photos, it's coming soon. That's coming soon. I think you'll like why we're waiting on this. There's some really slick options the team is working on. So you see, coming soon, you'll be able to reorder the pictures. You'll be able to change the order of the pictures by channel. We are also working on some pretty cool AI capability.
Hey, Derek, I think your screen might have frozen.
Oh, it's frozen. Okay. Let me, it says on stream. Let's see if I hit, oh, I put in spotlight that I will remove, and I'm going to add it back to the stream. Were you able to see it at all previously?
It was just stuck on the demo page.
Oh, just stuck on the demo page. Well, that makes sense. Let me, sorry, everybody. Let me present. Let me try one more time here. Okay. So I think I know.
How's it going over there, Derek? We're not able to hear you.
Okay, Lisa, sorry, you are. It seems like there's some technical issues going on with the contrast. Can you hear me back now?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, I am sharing. It's telling me I'm sharing my screen, but it's. Let me try that again and see if you see my hospitable screen.
We are still seeing the demo screen, but have you added it to the stream?
I have.
Let me see if I click it. Let's see if that helps.
I'll try it one more time. How about this?
Nope.
Nope, still showing the demo screen, huh? Okay.
Yeah, seems frozen on that one.
Huh.
Uh,
Let's see. Lisa, I don't know. This would be totally like Inception like, but are you able to find my account? I could narrate it if you, for some reason, it's not letting me.
I don't think that I can get your presentation, but are you able to
No, it just, I need to be
refresh?
in my account. I'm off the slides now.
Yeah.
Let's see. Sorry, guys. We'll get it here. I don't know if it's probably user error, but I'm on the stream and I've hit add stream. here, but you still can't see my screen.
Let's see if I click on this. What can we do? Does this do anything, guys?
Yeah, it's moving the slides, but I'm sharing my actual screen here. Let's see. Hmm.
If I move the slides here, let's see. Nope, we can't get the demo though. The slides are moving, but we need
Yeah, the
Derek's
slides
screen
are
for the
moving, but
demo. We need Derek's screen for the demo. That's the
yeah, I'm hitting share
okay.
screen. I'm hitting share my entire screen, and then I'm hitting add to stream. It says it's on stream, and it's still not showing. So I'm probably doing something wrong, but that's what I've been told to do. I don't know, Lisa, are you able to impersonate and maybe at Nova find my account? And I could see if are you able to, maybe you're able to share your screen?
Let
Not,
me check. Give me just a sec
all
to
right.
set
Give
up.
us just a moment, folks, for an audible apologies. How about that? It's not working now, is it? It's not showing my screen.
Actually, I see something now. Hang on. Yeah, I think it's working.
How about now? Okay, I had to pin. Can you see my hospitable screen?
Yes.
Don't know how I did it, but it's working, so let's just go. Thank you, everyone. We actually had about 100 people join while that was happening, so welcome. You are on the listing management webinar. Okay, so what I'm going to show is in my own account, listing management. So I'll start from the top here. I go to properties. Okay, I'm going to choose one of my properties that I want to manage the listing. And for this particular listing, I'm on Airbnb, Vrbo, and my direct booking site. The three areas over here that you now can control certain elements of your listing are details, pricing, and availability. So let's click into details first. Within details, you'll immediately see a change on this page. We used to have this long section here, which is difficult to navigate. Now we've broken out your listing content into these buckets up top. And going from top to bottom, you'll see managing photos is coming soon. I've been told this could be this week. Okay, we never like to give hard dates, but this is very, very soon being able to do um, photos and the listing headline, I think, are the things that are being worked on now. Okay, but let's show you what you can manage. So the summary, okay, and let's show how it works. So you can see here, I have my summary. If I click in, you can see I have my summary here. And if I hover over, you can see right now that it's saying, if I make a change to this, it's pushing to Airbnb and to my direct booking channel. Remember, we just said right now the listing management is pushing to Airbnb, booking.com, and your direct booking website. I am not connected to booking.com. Okay, that's something I will likely do as a result of this because I just did not want to add a new channel. Okay, but if I were connected to booking.com, or if you are and you hover over this, it should say 3 channels and then it would say booking.com. Okay, now if you make a change to this, okay, if you make even one character change, and you do need to press save. Okay, so if you scroll, like, let's say down here across the product, there are some pages that auto save and some pages you have to press save. So I wouldn't want you to make an amazing change and not be able to say, or it not be reflected. Okay, so make sure that you do scroll back up and you hit the save button. All right, now let's say that you wanted to have a different summary for the channel, for a different channel. So if I wanted to make a change to Airbnb, but let's say for my direct booking site, I wanted it to look a little bit different. Well, that's when I hit this button, edit per channel. Okay, I hit edit per channel, and then it opens up the option. Now be sure to click in. You can see then the box opens up a little bit more. Okay, and then you can edit this. Now today, let's say, I've seen a lot of success of people taking their listing summary, into ChatGPT, kind of breaking up the copy, adding, you can have emojis on Airbnb. That's a very, solid thing to do. I also have seen a lot of hosts copy their reviews. We actually have a GPT agent for this. I'll copy it in during the Q&A, where you can copy all your guest reviews, and then you can copy your summary and your listing description, and it will edit based on what guests rave about, right? So the idea there is, if you have a lot of great reviews and people are saying, oh, I love either certain elements of the listing or the area or things to do, but those things are not in your listing summary, well, that's probably a good idea to add those, right? So again, so all these things that are here where you see this tooltip where it says 2 channels, that can be edited. And if you make a change and you press save, then bam, it is saved to the channel. Okay. So let's go through other items. Do you have the arrival? So you have certain elements here. Now, I was told this morning there's a small bug. I think most of these arrival options are actually pushing to all the channels. It's just the tooltip is missing. Again, this is an early release, so there's going to be, some things that we're kind of doing fast follows. I recommend if you make changes, at least, in this first couple of weeks where we are first releasing this, just go to the channel, make sure that it's that particular element is saving, then you'll have confidence. The location, you cannot edit the address because that's tied to like billing and payout. So this is intended to be hard coded here, but you can change the pin. You can move the pin around if you want it. Okay. And press the save button. Directions, neighborhood description. Now, this is what I love. I can see here, I created my listing a long time ago, and I do make changes, not monthly, but probably a few times a year. And I can see I don't have anything that says getting around, and that's probably in the area that I should make a change. So the nice thing here is you'll see if you have any gaps. Maybe there are things you haven't put in. Also under details, I have amenities. This is one of the hottest items. Okay. First of all, I kept this error message up here intentionally to because many of you will have this as well. If after we have turned on this connection, if you have made changes to your Airbnb listing out of Airbnb, you need to tell Airbnb that it's good for Hospitable to control this, to control these elements of the listing. So if you hit open Airbnb, it will take you to a page. You just need to authorize that screen, and then when you come back, then making changes on this amenities page will then be active. Okay. So amenities, I think the team's done a really great job. First of all, I haven't changed any of these things. Okay, these are all the amenities that were already existing on my listing. Now you can see the amenities, and then you can also see many amenities have sub options. So like I have a dryer, you can choose in the building, is it free or for a fee? Okay, essentials, you can choose certain sub options. How about the washer in the building? Okay, today you cannot edit one of these amenities. So if you want to change one of the sub options, or um, you want you yeah you want to edit one of the amenities, you do need to delete and then come back and add. That's an item that we'll be working on. Now, if I hit add amenities, you'll see we have all the options here. So this is also just a good scan. Like, I mean, again, here I caught something. I have conditioner. I have shower gel. These are amenities that I've missed. I don't have room darkening shades. I don't have a mosquito net, clothes drying rack, a safe. Let's see what else I've missed. I'm sure I've missed something. Pool table, family, baby bath. I do have a crib, like a pack and play crib. Let's see. I do have board games. Wow, I've missed some of these things. Could have missed some listings, or could have missed some bookings based on this. Okay. Barbecue utensils, mini fridge, toaster. I have a toaster here. No beach, no access, laundromat. There is a laundromat nearby, even though I have laundry here, right? And these are luxury amenities. That's kind of nice. Let's see. I do have an outdoor fireplace. I have a solo stove with firewood at this place, and I haven't listed it. That's shame on me. Shame on me. So I hope you're finding these too. If make me feel better and type in the chat if you found amenities that you should have had all along. That'll just make me feel better. Okay. Let's see. If I keep going outdoor, okay, I have a patio. And let's see. A hot tub, pool, sauna. Wow, right? There's a lot of items. Okay. I like that. I hit done. Now that's updated. Now, I also do want to mention Marina, who's traveling. She mentioned to me that there are two amenities that we do allow you to create with the sub options right now. Okay, so this again is a work in progress. You can't like inside of Airbnb if you choose shampoo and conditioner, you can choose like what brand. That's not available today. We're working on that. But if you do pool, okay, if I were to click on pool, you can see you can choose privacy, private or shared, access, seasonality. You could choose all these options. Okay. The other amenity that we have that allows you to choose the sub option is parking. Okay. So let's see. I click this. There we go. Parking type. So for me, this one is a driveway and it's only guest. Requires reservation, number of spaces. Oop, I actually realized I don't have this. So I think I can fit 4 cars in here. And I do have security cameras in the parking area. And I'm going to add that amenity. Oh, requires reservation. Yes, because you need a reservation to get access. Okay, so this, hopefully you're seeing this. Like I've missed some things. I'm so glad it's here now. Okay, I'm going to keep moving to the rules section. So you have check-in, check-out, house rules. Okay, do you allow children, infants, those types of things? Okay, hit save. Okay, it's house rules. I'll need to come back and replicate my house rules here. It's for demo. Let's click to pricing. So we'll kind of click through and then we'll come off and take questions here. So we do want to mention, you'll see a very similar type of style up here. You see these occupancy based rules. And again, you'll know that this is controlling, again, with the tooltip here, and then you could edit per channel. That's how you know it's controlling the listing, all right? So you can, how many guests? Is there an extra guest fee? I have a lot of success charging extra guest fee. Maybe you don't, but I take like the number of people per beds, and if it's a king or a queen bed, I do 2. But I know that people could pack in, and I have a mattress. I have a cot in one property, but you know what? That's like kind of a lot to set up, and it's more toilet paper, more paper towels, it's more cleaning. So I like this being front and center here. Like maybe you have the option to make that calculation, because then you can make money. Like if people come with a large group, say maybe 20% of my listings, someone has booked over this amount, and I'm getting $10 per person over 6, and that little bit of revenue adds up. Okay, we have fees as well. You can see cleaning fees, linens, resort management, pet fees. Airbnb is still current update. I think it's like 62 or 63% of travelers travel with a pet. So if you've not considered that, then you might want to add that. I've heard my pet fee's too low, so I probably need to bump that up. I actually have been considering. You know what? I'm just going to make this decision. That's what it's about. It's about making action. So I'm a full price paying customer, so I'm going through this with you guys as well. So you know what? I'm going to say for this listing, because it's a single family home. I wouldn't call it a luxury property, but it's kind of a premium property. I think people will pay. You know what? I'm going to say per pet per stay. If you want 2 dogs to come, you're going to need to pay for both. I don't think that's going to impact my stay, because my average daily rate for this property is like in the 200 and 300s. Most people are staying 3 days. I think they'll pay the $150 for 2 pets. Okay, so maybe I can make some extra money there. Security deposits. This is our own internal feature. We do allow it. We've made a bunch of updates. Check it out. So you can configure a security deposit if you want to collect it. This is a little bit of like your own protection. So check that out. And the direct discounts, weekly and monthly discounts here. Let's go into the availability, the third tab. So you have general, so you have minimum length of stay. Do you allow requests for longer stays? What's your availability window? Booking rules and instant book. Okay. The other thing I did want to mention, even though it's already been out, okay, it's already out. Let me go back into this property. Since we're on the theme of being able to control certain things that are in the channels, we've already released being able to sync and control your rule sets. Rule sets are unique to Airbnb. I have to admit, though, they're a little bit hidden. So I want to make sure that you can see this. So if I click on the calendar, just say I click this date range here and I scroll down, you can see manage rule sets. Okay. Rule sets allow you to do things like apply discounts. You can set a custom trip length, minimum restrictions. This is a great tool if, let's say, you know that there's like a really big festival weekend or a festival week, and you usually accept a 2-night minimum, but during the week of that festival, maybe you want to choose that you only want a 5 or a 7-night stay because someone booking just 2 nights, you know you can get the full 5 or 7-night stay. Now, when you go through this process, if you already have rule sets connected, then you're going to see an option here. You can import your rule set from Airbnb. Very slick job that the product team did. So you can then import and then manage from there. Now, rule sets, when you change them here, they are most of those fields. Well, there are some fields that are unique for Airbnb and some that do push to the other channels. So just be sure to monitor that. So I wanted to make sure we did at least mention rule sets. Okay, so just to recap here, if you sort of dozed off or you're busy, I'm going to do like the 1-minute version. Okay. You click properties if you want to manage your listing. You click into the property. You can control elements of your listing in the details, pricing, and availability page. When you click in, you'll see these options reorganize at the top. You make the change, you need to hit save. If you want to make a change that is specific to a channel, make the change. Uh, for whatever business reason you need, hit the save button. Okay. That is where we're at with listing management. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to the presentation, which we should have no problem showing because we had a lot of problems getting rid of the presentation. So I guess I'll ask in the chat, can you see the page that says what's next? I will hit it, add to stream. How about that? I think you should be able to see it says what's next. Okay. All right, cool. So what is next? All right. I'll try to do picture in a picture here. There we go. So what's next? What's being worked on? Listing headline is in progress. Photos are in progress. Well, now you see my face. Okay. Okay, good. Today, you cannot create a listing from scratch, but that's coming too. So right now, if you want to replicate your listing, let's say over to booking.com, you have to have an Airbnb listing. Or if you want to start just with a direct booking website, we require you to have an Airbnb listing. Okay, so that's coming. The ability to create a listing from scratch. We've heard a lot of feedback like, hey, maybe you want to start creating it. You know, you're just about to buy a property or you're renovating it, so that's coming. VRBO, as I mentioned at the beginning, is we're close. We're very close to having rebuilt that entire connection. So we believe it will resolve some of the disconnect notices that you get, and you'll be able to edit all these things to the Vrbo channel. So we're very close to that. We're just waiting on some stuff from Vrbo. Now, the teaser here is we have a lot of AI planned. We want to get the basics here, be able to create listings, manage the elements, and manage them across the core channels, Airbnb, Vrbo, booking.com, and your direct booking site. But I think what you'll start to see over the next few weeks and months, of course, is some AI. Maybe we can rewrite your headline based on your guest reviews, or we can look up your local area and find what the local attractions are, right? Maybe to speed up or enhance a listing. We also think that the listing description and photo descriptions are important. If you don't have photo descriptions, you probably want to take a look at this. Um, Inside of each photo, you can have a small, you can just say, oh, this room is cozy, or hey, this room is off the left side. It helps the guests really understand what's going on. So we can write that based on what we see. So these are the things that are coming. Okay, now we're in the Q&A. So we'll take questions, but I also want to thank Petra on our team too. She helped clean this presentation up. Thank you, Petra. Petra is in charge of our community. So we have a whole discussion going on about listing management and creation inside of our community. So find it. You can do the QR code, and we'll keep the conversation going there too. But what we'll do is here we'll take questions. So Lisa, I know, has been cranking questions out. But let me sort of scan through here and see if there are any consistent themes. I'll start taking some of the questions from the bottom up if they have not been answered. So Becky asked, will this recording be available later? Of course, and because we've got to edit that technical issue out in the middle. I don't want that to be on my resume, so we'll edit it. Wendy says, this makes booking.com more interesting. Is there a way to do different payout methods in booking yet? Okay, I'm not going to get into the payout method, but I do agree it is more interesting. The booking.com, the extranet is challenging to navigate through, okay? And so being able to control certain elements of booking.com does make booking.com an element. And I would say booking.com is spending millions of dollars in advertising in the US, and we're seeing a lot of pickup in reservations there. So if you've not given booking a chance, maybe this is something that gets you off the fence. Okay. Let's see here. We have a good question or a suggestion from Lois. I would love to have different buckets available for seasonal pictures, then be able to turn the appropriate buckets on and off as the season changes. Okay, I'm going to hit the fire button on that one too. That's pretty cool. I love that idea. Marina, our product manager, is listening to that one, so that's great. Let's see. Lisa answered. I'm trying, it's actually hard to find a question that Lisa did not answer. So Lisa,
Just jumping in here, Derek, did you see the actual Q&A that I kind of like saved for you?
No.
It's next to the public chat.
Okay.
I tried to pull out some of those like more common questions. So if you want to hop in, otherwise I can.
6 questions here. I see 6 questions.
Yep,
Thank you. All right, cool. So what I'll do here, I will add this to the stream. Look at that. Miles will be proud of me. By editing in Hospitable, Airbnb and Booking.com will get the updates. Yes, with a small asterisk. It also includes your direct booking website, so it's better than what you've posed in the question. And it's not all fields, it's the fields we presented today, right? It doesn't include the photos, doesn't include the listing headline. Those are coming quickly, right? But you'll know the field is editable in those channels when you hover over that tooltip, and it will tell you which channel it will update. Thank you for the question. Remove that from the Q&A. Let's see, Michelle. I want to add Michelle's question here. Can cleaning fees be adjusted here too and sync to all sites? Okay, so the answer is yes with an asterisk too. Cleaning fees can be edited here. Fees in general, like I showed you, pet fees, management fees, linen fees, you can manage those to Airbnb, Booking, and your direct booking website. Okay, so it's not all sites. It does not include Vrbo today, which we're working on. Great question. Thank you. Next question here. Let's see. Lydia. Let me add to the stream. If in the future I leave Hospitable, will my listing be able to move with me, or would Hospitable own it? I do not want to lose control of my listing. You own it. We've taken a completely different approach to our competitors. We want you to stay with us because we're the right fit for your business, not because of a contract or because we have your listing hostage. So no, you'll always be able to take your listing with you. You'll always have your Airbnb, Booking, Vrbo logins. Those are done through you. Now, Lydia, if there's any reason why you're considering leaving, please shoot me an email or let us know. But we want you to make the right decision for your business. Okay. All right. We have another question from Jyothi, if I'm pronouncing this correct. We have a concierge service not included, but guests have to connect with the service. We are only connecting them to concierge service team. Do we have a bit we can enable that? We have a concierge service not included, but guests have to connect with the service. I don't know how to answer this. I'm gonna have to go back to my team. I don't know the answer to this. I'll be honest. I'm going to remove it from the. Yeah, I'm not sure. So let us come back to you. I'm sorry, I can't answer that one. Bryant, we're gonna put your question on stage. After I'm done adding all the amenities in Hospitable, if I'm adding new channels to the same listing, will it sync auto? Okay, so if you're adding new channels, so let's say you have an Airbnb and then you add a booking.com or you add a direct booking site, will it add those amenities? That is correct. Yes, you'll have, um, now you will need to create, today, remember, we're not creating the listing. So you would still need to create the listing. Let's say in your scenario, you have an Airbnb, but you want to add a booking.com channel. You will need to create the basic booking.com listing in booking.com. Actually, today we can replicate booking.com. This actually got re-enabled today, so that's has been a little bit of a moving target. And then you can edit the amenities. So we will replicate from the lead listing. Okay, so the amenities should be there, and if you want to adjust them, then you can. Thank you, Brian. George asks, bulk edits for amenities for multiple properties. Today, no. We know that this is going to be a requirement. It's not an option today. My guess would be this is probably a Q1 item next year. So I would find, if I were you, I would go to feedback.hospitable.com and you can add that there and try to coerce your community mates to upvote it. Okay, those are all the prepared questions from Lisa. If you have a question we would like to bring on stage, you can use or I guess you can continue to ask them and we can try to promote them. Let me go to the public chat now. Thank you. Lisa put the post in there for feedback.hospitable.com. So lots of great suggestions. We'll take all these back to the product team. I see some suggestions for guidebooks. Yeah, hear you on that. We've done a big overhaul of the guest portal, so that is something that I think would be pretty interesting. Let's see. Well, I'll kind of see if there's any heavy ones here. We don't have to have the full hour, but let's see. There's lots of comments. Emily asked, will this make booking more user-friendly? As in we won't have to use their confusing website at all and payment will be straightforward. I think you're probably referring to like booking.com. Yes, we do have some plans to take over some of the payment processing elements. That's not sort of anything that's yeah, it's planned and being worked on. I wouldn't expect that this year, but Emily's referring to like Vrbo and booking, setting up payments and receiving payments is very different than Airbnb. So Emily, we are working on kind of like a direct premium type option where we're the merchant of record. That's something that we're working on. Okay, we're going to end it here. What I'll say is that the recording will be available. This is live in all of your products today. Check it out and expect a lot of fast follows. That's what we call these. And continue to voice your feedback here in the community. We've got a really great community page here that's discussing how to use it. If you have any questions or if you have any hot suggestions, you can post those there or at feedback.hospitable.com. So again, I want to thank the entire product and engineering team support. Really, everyone made this release possible. Thank you, Lisa, for helping moderate today. Thank you, Marina, for the training on this. Thank you, Petra, for your assistance on the slides and the technical help. And happy hosting. We wish you well. Have a great rest of the week. Take care. Bye-bye.